Welcome back. We're going to take a look at how easy it can be to set up your own masternodes just so that you don't have to rely on third-party services anymore in order to run your masternode servers. You can even run more than one masternode on the same VPS server, saving you a bunch of money. But right now, we're just going to look at how to set up our first masternode on a VPS server, and we'll worry about all the other complicated stuff later. Let's just check out how easy it can be. Let's get to it. The first thing we're going to want to do when we are going to set up a masternode server, first you need to know what coin you are going to want to be setting up a server for. So you can do that by going to a website here called masternodes.online. So it's masternodes.online, nothing after that, and you'll be presented basically with a list of coins that you can choose from. So every coin in this list actually has a masternode capability, and you'll see a list the price. It'll list a whole bunch of market data, as well as it will list the ROI. So when you see something like this, like Dashcoin has an ROI of 7.22%. So if you need over here, it also has required coins is 1,000. So in order to open a Dash masternode, you need to have 1,000 Dash coins, and that'll earn you about, or at least on today's statistics, it will earn you 7.22% per year. So at the end of the year, you should have about 1,070 Dash coins. And of course, 1,000 Dash coins is going to cost you about $82,000. So we're not looking at setting up a Dash node here today. The coin I'm actually going to be setting up, I have not seen here. It's got to be in here somewhere. We'll just do a little search. And this is the coin that I'm going to be setting up here today, called Polis. They're worth about, at the time of recording anyway, about 95 cents a piece. The ROI is 79.25% per year. So it costs you about 950 bucks to set up one of these nodes. So this is going to be the example today. Most master nodes you're going to set up follow the same or a very similar procedure. So you can always use this as a guide for any other coin. But today's example, we'll be setting up Polis. So if we go ahead, we'll click on here. All right, so there's a bit of information that you can get on this screen as well. It lists out for you your daily income, what you would make on average per day, about $2 a day, which isn't bad for a $950 investment. I mean, that's pretty good. Now, something about masternodes is that when you invest in a masternode, you don't lose your coins. You can pull out your coins at any time, so it makes it a relatively safe kind of investment. Again, I'm not an investment advisor. This is not investment advice. This is a how-to video. So anyway, it lists your expected or anticipated income that could possibly happen if the market stayed exactly as it is today for the rest of the year. But it lists a bunch of price data. It lists here a bunch of other information get about the masternode statistics, which you may find interesting, but let's get to it. Now, this tutorial is going to assume that you already know how to go and buy coins. So here are the exchanges where this particular coin is listed on. So whatever coin you're doing, or if you're doing Polis, you need to go to an exchange. You need to get the coin that you want to set up a masternode on their network, right? So assuming you've done that or know how to do that, let's go ahead and proceed. So there's a few things we can get. One, we can check out their website because there's going to be some things that we need. One, we're going to need a wallet. So you can go into their downloads, and you can pick your wallet for your operating system. If you're setting up a masternode, I'm sure that you already know how to set up a wallet. If you don't know how to set up a wallet, I suggest you go to another video, but there's your wallet. Now, next things that we're going to need, I don't see anything at the top here about masternodes. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down to the bottom of the page here, and there's two places that basically we can look for install instructions for a masternode of any coin. One place is on their GitHub, so I'll open that up, and the other one is on their Discord. So, but on GitHub, you can go ahead and you can kind of take a look at their pages on here, and you can click through. Now, the instructions that I'll give you for this one are not actually on here. You go under Documents, and there's Masternode Setup. You can go through all of these instructions if you want to, but you can see they're rather lengthy. Most coins have a very quick install script that you can use, and it doesn't have to be as complicated as this usually. So what we're going to do then is we are going to open up Discord. So let's go ahead and we'll click on this, and it'll open up a Discord chat window. Go ahead and type in your name in here. Whoops, what am I doing? And go ahead, boom, not a robot, yada yada. You can go through this process. All right, so here we are. We're in Discord, and what we're looking for in here, there's every coin will be a little bit different, but as far as Polis goes, I'm in the Polis blockchain channel, and the instructions to install are actually under the FAQs, so frequently asked questions, right? Sometimes you'll have a bunch of channels in here you can pick from. You and Masternode support, ask people some questions if you get stuck, but the actual instructions that we want are right here under the new install on VPS. Well, now we need a VPS, don't we? So let's go ahead and get that next. Let's switch back to our browser. And now that we're back in our browser, we're going to go to another website. And this website is called Vultr. That is VULTR.com. And I'll put a link for everything below this video as well, so you can check out there for links. So you'll come here. You're going to want to go ahead and you're going to create a new account. And for me, what I'm going to do is log in. So once you're logged in, you'll be presented with a screen like this. So I already have a bunch of servers in here because I'm obviously running a bunch of masternodes already. But we're going to go ahead and set up a new server here right now. So something you're going to have to do in order to be able to begin is you're going to have to go under billing, and you're going to have to make a payment. And I believe that you are not able to pay with Bitcoin until you make your first initial payment with some other way. It's just kind of like an ID verification thing. But they might, who knows, they might let you deposit with Bitcoin originally now. Once you've deposited some funds, you're going to go ahead and come back over here to your servers tab and just click this plus icon up here. And and from here, what we're going to want to do, the location of your server doesn't really matter too much. You can just kind of pick something. Then when you scroll down, we're going to select, we want a 64-bit operating system. We're going to come here to Ubuntu and click on Ubuntu. And we're going to pick 1604. Make sure it's 1604. We don't want the other versions just because the software that we need to run is really only compatible for this version. So again, we want Ubuntu. And we want 16.04 x64 for 64-bit. So select that, make sure it's selected. The next thing we're going to want to do is click on the $5 version. Sometimes you can get away with the $3.50 version, but it can cause you some troubles down the road. And some coins just won't accept a server so small. Some coins even need a server larger than this one, but for 99% of coins out there, just go with the $5 a month one. And then we will scroll down some more. We don't need any of these options. That should be everything we need except for number 7 here. We can go ahead and set up a name for it. And I'm going to set mine up as Polis 6 because this is my 6th Polis server that I'm setting up. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then we'll click on deploy now. And you'll see when I scroll down, I have my Polis 6 server, and I just set it to Atlanta. I don't care where it's located. And it'll be on installing here, and it'll be installing just for a little bit. So just allow it a couple of minutes to go through, and then we'll proceed to our next step. All right, now we have our server up and running. We'll just go ahead and we'll click on it or click on manage, and it'll give us some details here. It'll give us some details about our server. A couple of things we'll need. One is the IP address, the other one is the password, but I'm not going to reveal it to you by clicking this button. Instead, there's a button right here we can use to copy it. So, I assume most of you guys are on Windows. I happen to be on Linux. So, I'm going to go ahead. I'm actually going to do this the Windows way, just to show you guys how to do this on Windows. For the Windows way, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go open a new tab here, and we are going to get a program called Putty. Okay, so I'll just do, well, I guess we have a little, I just Google searched it, I guess, or I DuckDuckGo'd it, whatever, right? So we'll just go to us, so it's putty.org, and we just go here, and basically we want to go to download Putty. So what Putty is just, it's a client, it's an SSH client, so it's a secure shell client. Basically, in layman's terms, this is the application that you're going to need if you're on Windows in order to communicate with the server that we just set up. So we'll go ahead and click to download it. And we're going to scroll down for the operating system that you have. So, I mean, this is a Windows program. You can get the installer if you want to install it. That's probably the best option for you, is to get the 64-bit. Assuming 64 bits, which you're using. Nobody's had 32-bit in like 10 years. You can go ahead and get the installer and install it. Unfortunately, these don't work too good for me because I am running Linux and not Windows. But I can go ahead and actually grab this one right here, which you could also do as well. So you can get either one of these. But you can get the SSH and Telnet client itself, 64-bit, download putty.exe. So that will open up a save box like this. And you can go ahead and save the file if you want to save it. In my case, I'm using Windows anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and open it. But just go ahead and save the file, double click on it on your desktop or whatever, and just go ahead and open it up. You should have something that looks like this. You'll have a window, and more or less, we need to get that information that we just got from Vultr. So now we need to enter in this program a few things. First, we need the IP address. So you can go ahead and right-click, copy it, or Control-C. And then we go over to Putty. And you're going to want to right-click and paste it into this box. I noticed it saved a space at the beginning, so just make sure we don't have space at the beginning or end. Make sure it's set to port number 22. And make sure it's on SSH. Alright, and we can go ahead, we can click on Open. Okay, so you'll be presented with a window like this. It's going to say Login As. So we need our username, which is always going to be root. So we'll just type in root. And then we need our password. Now, rather than reveal our password and then try to type it in manually, you know, you're probably going to get it wrong. Just go ahead and click on this button here where it says copy password. And then when you go back into Putty, all you need to do is just right-click your mouse button once. Okay, so I'm going to right-click, okay, and push enter on your keyboard. Okay, and it's going to log you in. Now, something in Linux, when you go to paste something into a password field, it just doesn't reveal the letters. So just understand that it is inputting the letters properly. So just right-click your mouse button and then push enter, and it'll allow you into the system. So now we're actually accessing our server, our Vultr server that we've logged into. So now we need to go get that piece of information that we had in Discord in order to set up our Polis node. Okay, so in Discord, what we need is under new install on VPS, we want to copy this line, okay? So copy this one. It says, it starts with wget, then it has a -q, and then it has this web address for this polisinstall.sh. So a .sh file is called a shell script. So this is a quick and dirty install script that does everything for you. You don't need to type in all the commands manually. Really a lot simpler than that. So what we're going to do is go ahead and right-click and copy this wget command from our Discord server. And then we will go back into our Putty window. And if we just right-click, it's automatically going to paste this code in there. So it starts with wget. And what the wget command does is that's the command in Linux to fetch a file from a remote server and download it locally. So we are downloading this polisinstall.sh file. So it's a short piece of script that's just going to automate a lot of the functions for us. And then you can go ahead and hit enter. And then the next thing you're going to have to do is type in bash. Or you could do this another way, but just type bash and then just the little P. You could type the whole thing in if you want to, but if you hit the letter P and then push tab, it'll actually automatically fill in the rest of the file name. You're going to use bash. The bash command is we're going to basically tell the console that we want to execute this file. And then we are going to tell it what file we want to execute. We want bash to run polisinstall.sh and then hit enter. And it's going to go ahead and do a bunch of stuff, all right? So in the meantime, we can go ahead and take care of some of our wallet functions and get our money moving in the right direction. All right, so here's the Polis wallet. So again, this video is assuming that you know how to go buy coins on an exchange. You know how to get them into your wallet. Now, there's some things that we need to know. We know that Polis, again, on masternodes.online, it shows the required coins for a node. For Polis, that number is 1,000 coins. For whatever coin you're doing, it may be different. You can see I do have 6,000 coins in my wallet. So I have enough now that I have 5 master nodes at the moment, and I'm opening up number 6. So I have my 1,000 coins in order to be able to do it. No problem. So once you open the wallet, there's a few things you want to do. One, it needs to synchronize. You're going to want to go to settings, options. Now in options, you want to make sure that you have these 2 settings enabled. You want to enable coin control features because there's a chance we will need this in the future. And the other thing that you want to enable is the masternodes tab. Otherwise, we won't even be able to control our masternodes. So let's make sure those are enabled and then click OK. Now at this point, your wallet may ask you to restart the wallet, and just go ahead and do that and then meet me back here. So now what we need to do, you need to go to File. And again, I know you can't see my menus, limitation of my recording ability, but go to File, click on File in the corner, and then click where it says Receiving Addresses right above the Exit command in the menu. So click on Receiving Addresses. All right, so what we're going to need to do in here, these are your receiving addresses. We're going to want to go ahead and click on New, and this will generate a new address. Now we can title this address to something. I'm going to call mine MN6. All right, and obviously you can see my labeling, MN12345. The obvious choice is 6, and it's going to create for you a brand new address here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to copy this address. And then we can make sure we have that copied. And so right click copy. And then we will click on close. And then we want to go to send. So on the send screen, what you're going to want to do is under pay to, just right click here and click on paste. And you'll see when you paste your address in there, it's automatically going to come up and say MN6, the label that I labeled this particular wallet address. And under amount, we're going to put 1,000. This number needs to be exactly 1,000 because if we have 1,000.000001 coins, you cannot open a masternode with that address and that transaction. And if it has 99.999999 coins, we cannot open a masternode with that transaction. So make sure this is 1,000 coins. This box subtract fee is not checked. And then go ahead and click the send button to send your transaction and go ahead and verify it. When you go under transactions, you will see that you have this payment here that says payment to yourself. So before we do anything else, we need to make sure that we have enough confirmations. You see how all of these other transactions have check marks. We need to wait until we have a check mark on this transaction. Should take 15, maybe 20 minutes. And once that's completed, we can proceed. Okay, and now that our payment is confirmed, we can go ahead now and just flip back over to your putty screen, and you'll see it's asking you to enter your masternode private key or leave it blank to generate a new one. We'll just leave it blank and generate a new one. So you're installing and setting up a firewall to allow ingress on port 24126. No problem. So it'll install a bunch of stuff. Just let it do its thing. Okay, so now we have some instructions on our screen. It tells us, allow me to move this over a little bit. It tells us that we have our Polis Masternode is on port, whatever, yada, 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 start, stop, whatever. Here's our IP address and our port. We will need this. We also need the Masternode private key. And that's about it. And we will need the address. So now we can go back over to our wallet. If you click on tools, there will be a button that says open masternode configuration file. I know you can't see it on my video. It's just a limitation of the screen recording software. But it says open masternode configuration file. And then you will have a file. Now it doesn't matter what text editor you use. It doesn't matter. I just happen to use this one. But you're going to see a bunch of, well, you won't have as much information as what is in here, but all you need to do is go down and make yourself a new line, okay? And we want to enter some information, okay? Now remember that I called my masternode MN6, so you're going to start with that. That's the first thing that we need, okay? Next thing is we need our port and we need our IP address. So if we just go ahead and we copy that, now to copy this, all you need to do, okay, is just highlight it, okay? When you're using putty, highlight it, and right click, and you'll see every time I right click, it pops up down here in the bottom bar. So that means it's copied. Now we can transition back to our file. And we want to go ahead and we'll just right click paste it right here. So we want to start out MN6 or whatever you called your masternode, okay, or whatever you're deciding to label it. And then we want your IP address port that we just copied. Okay, so the next piece of information we'll need is this masternode private key. So just go ahead and highlight it. And then all we need to do again, right click, and you see every time I right click, it's popping up there. Okay, so that means it's copied. We go back into our configuration file, we right click, paste. So we have our MN6, we have our IP address and our port, and then we have that masternode private key. We'll enter a space. Now we need our next piece of information is in our wallet. Okay, so from our wallet, remember this transaction here where we have our payment to ourselves, and we'll just double click on that to open up a new window. Now what we're going to do is we're going to copy the transaction ID. Okay, so we'll right click and copy this, and then back in our configuration file, we'll right click, paste. All right, and then the next thing that we need should be a 1. Okay, so now I'm just going to hit file and I'm just going to save this. And I'll exit the editor. And then I can close this down. Now, in order for these changes to take effect, what we need to do is go ahead and restart our wallet. So I'm just gonna exit the wallet and open it back up. All right. Now, if I go over to the Masternodes tab, we'll see that I have in here, I have a new Masternode. I had 5 before, now I have MN6. It'll say missing for right now. We need to wait for our wallet to fully synchronize, and then we can go ahead and proceed to start our Masternode. And with any luck, it should start for us without a hitch. Okay, so now that we have a synchronizer wallet, let's go ahead and click down here where it says start missing. If you have other Masternodes, do not use the Start All button. Okay, go ahead and click on Start Missing. And it will ask you if you want to start missing Masternodes. Click Yes. Now, it looks like I got a failed error. So if you get a failed message, successfully started 0, failed to start 1, failed to verify MNB. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to just get out of this. Now we're going to switch back to our Masternode. Now we're just going to switch back to our Masternode. I just cleared the screen out. We're going to type in Polis-CLI MN sync status, just like that, okay? And what I'm looking in here is I can see it says blockchain sync true, is master list sync true, is winners list synced false. So we need to wait until that comes true. So I'm just going to type in watch Polis-CLI MN sync status. And now it'll go ahead and it'll update this every so often automatically. So when this area, when all of this turns to true, we'll be ready to proceed and activate our Masternode. And then ironically, you can see that all of my indicators here went to false instead of to true, but we should be okay anyway. I don't see why it says false, or maybe it says false because it's no longer trying to sync. I don't know. But if we hold the control button and push C, it will exit us from this watch command that we just entered, and we're back to the prompt. Now, if we go back to our wallet, you can go ahead and click on Start Missing, and it will just ask you to confirm, and then it will say successfully started 1 Masternodes failed to start 0. Okay, perfect. So we successfully started the 1 node that we want. We click on OK, and then you can see that our node went to pre-enabled, and so that's good. Now it usually takes, it could take anywhere from 5-10 minutes to sometimes 30 minutes to an hour for this to change to a proper enabled status to the rest of mine. But in the meantime, well, if we go back to our browser, we can take our IP address for our server. So basically, guys, everything that needs to be done is done now. It should be working, but there's a few things we can do. Firstly, we can copy this IP address, and you can take that over. Remember, masternodes.online, and you can go and up at the top here, we can go click on monitoring. And then we'll create a new seed number. Now you should go ahead and save this seed number, but because I'm not going to save this account, I guess I do need this number to log in. So I'll right click copy back to login form. I'll right-click paste and sign in. And now if we scroll down, I will see here where it says add new masternode to monitoring. We will take our IP address. Again, I'll copy this IP address, bring it back to masternodes.online. We'll right-click paste, hit search. And it's still coming up no data, but if you just give that about 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes, it should show up here as well. Something else we can do is if we go back to our PuTTY window, you can type in here Polis CLI Masternode status. And you will see here that it says Masternode successfully started. So that's perfect. That's exactly what we need. And we just got to wait now. And we'll be able to see this come on to masternode.online. So right here, we'll wait for it to show up here. And we're good to go. And then right there, you're going to see it pop up. It'll say your Polis. It's going to say your pub key. And then it's going to have your IP address. Go ahead and click on where it says add to monitoring. Oh, we need to enter a description. I'll call mine Polis 6. Then click add to monitoring. And yeah, now it'll take you back to your menu and it'll actually show it there and it'll say pre-enabled. And if you just go ahead and just wait 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, this will go ahead and say enabled, and then you know you're good to go. If you get any other messages, like if it changes to new start required or any other kind of message, then we know we have other problems we need to diagnose. But at the time of recording, you should have no problems with this particular setup. It should switch to enabled within about a half an hour. And now that I've restarted, refreshed the page, you can see that it comes up enabled. And also, if you go back to your wallet, you can also see we're at MN6 here. It also shows enabled. And basically, that's it, guys. Now you can just sit back and wait until some of these Masternode payments come in. If you look at my transaction history, give you an idea of how long it takes on this particular coin. Let's see, I got one on the 9th. Let's just look at MN1. Like, we'll look at the oldest one that I have. So MN1, I got paid on the 9th of March. And the one before that was the 3rd of March. And the one before that was the 25th of February. So we're like between 6 and 8 days. Every 6 and 8 days I'm getting paid. But of course, every coin varies. Every coin has a completely different system. But as long as, like, if you have enabled showing here, and you have enabled showing on the masternodes.online website, right here next to your Polis node, then you're set, guys. And that's everything that you need to do to set up your own Masternode VPS server. So there you have it, guys. That's all you need to do to set up a Masternode. It's really not all that hard. I mean, once in a while we do run into some problems, and if you do have problems, what I encourage you to do is for whatever coin that you are having difficulties with, just simply go to their Discord channel and ask some questions in the support channels in the Discord, right? That's the best place to get help when you're stuck with a Masternode, when you have some kind of error. It's really good. And of course, if you're not comfortable with doing this simple installation system, there are of course third-party services that you can use to run your Masternodes. Just know that any third-party service that you use, they're there, they intend on making money off of you. All right, so if you are running a coin that's, you know, not producing a very high value, then maybe you're just not going to make money on it, right? So here it is, guys. That's it. That's all you need to know to install a Masternode on a server. And next time, I might do a video to show you how to install a second Masternode on the same server so that you can save money with your overall Masternode business. So until next time, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got some value out of this. I appreciate it if you could go down below this video. If you could like this video and throw some comments down below it. It really helps me out because I literally don't make a dime for making these videos. So if you guys can help me get any kind of exposure on YouTube that I can get, I will be more than grateful for it. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you on the next one. Ciao for now.